And here we are. Episode 1 of Spark in the Dark. Hello guys. So glad to be back finally. It's been such a long time since I've been able to run a game. Since I even closed out a lot of my professional games. They finished up Kingmaker as well. But yeah, suffice to say, we wanted to switch on to something different with this, something homebrew, so that I can actually flex my DMing muscles a little bit more than I have been in the past. So here we are. And with that being said, I think we should do a bit of introductions of who each of the players are. Going back on what I usually do for new campaigns, I think we can do it again here. Who you are, what you do, and what your experience is playing TTRPGs. If you're good with that, we'll go just across the screen, starting with Cal.
Hello. I am Faye. I'm going to be playing Cal, the Kobold Magus. I've been playing TTRPGs for a long time now. 10 years, probably, at least. I started with D&D, and I played Shadowrun and Pathfinder. I've played a good amount of things.
Spores?
Hi, I'm EEGS, and I'm playing Spores, the Kobold Druid, for this campaign. I also mostly do art, and you can probably see my work on the portraits of everyone here, but I've been also a tabletop gamer since, I think, 2018 or so. I started with 5e like most people, but I've been having a blast with Pathfinder 2nd Edition with Aeon here.
Oh,
So
yes.
continue.
The elephant in the room as well. I changed my name. I'm not Kobold DM all the time anymore. I have a proper sort of name rather than just a title. That is basically that. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, I was about to. That's about it for me, anyways.
Starnberck then.
Yo, I'm Nix. I will be playing Starnberck, the Nagaji Barbarian. My tabletop experience, I can't even tell where it starts. I can't tell where it started with D&D 5e, and I sort of dabbled in all kinds of strange systems ever since. Met Aeon here through Pathfinder after trying 5e, tried Warhammer Fantasy and a bunch of other things over time. Right now, I'm enjoying Pathfinder 2nd Edition with everyone here, and yeah, that's me.
You know, I think I met you in a random terrible Pathfinder 1st Edition game.
That was indeed the case, and that is still like the most chance encounter I've had so far, I suppose.
Well, that's how it goes. Tresser, over to you.
Hello, I am Neldu. I am playing as Tresser, the Kobold Thaumaturge, a class I've had my eye on for a bit. Not Aeon, Ion. I've been playing tabletop games for at least 6 years. I started with a very obscure system called Feast of Legends. If you don't know what that is, and I'm sure you don't, look it up. It's very funny. It was this weird game that Wendy's, the fast food chain, made. It was surprisingly good. But I moved into 5e, and now I'm playing Pathfinder, which is a system I very much love. It feels well developed.
Yes. Well developed for both the players and the DM. This is very nice. But yeah. And last, but not least, Rask.
Hi there, I'm Chris, the player of the Kobold Rask. Rask is a kineticist, which is sort of like a bender from the Avatar series, and I focus on the water element. I started playing tabletop games in 2002 with D&D 3.5, and I have been absolutely hooked ever since. Although my experiences are mostly D&D and Pathfinder.
Well, hey, I fill that niche of fantasy. Pretty much corner the market on it, really. But yeah. Welcome everyone in. Hello to all of our, well, I was going to say new players, but you guys know them. You've been watching the Kingmaker series, maybe. But yes. That's all said. If you guys are watching and you notice anything about the audio or something like that, please let me know in the chat. This is like a new campaign. I'm setting it up new. I haven't been on OBS and whatever for months at a time here. I hope you guys like the layout, actually. This layout is a little bit more fancy than the last one, in some ways. you'll see the player health there. Those little white dots above them is hero points. And speaking on that, actually, hero points, I'm going to try to do it the intended way this time, rather than just once per hour. Because I think players sort of bank them on the hour, or just like trust that, oh, I'm going to get a hero point in 5 minutes, so they're going to do something different. I think it's better to do it the actual hero point way, where, well, you do heroics, or you play to your character, and you get them in that way. I'll try to be very on point with that, because I haven't always been, like, noticing when a person deserves a hero point. But at the very least, I'm going to try to give out one per person for the whole session. But, of course, they can get max of 2 out of that. Anybody else got anything they can think of that we should talk about before we get started? I think the silence is telling.
Yeah, it's quite deafening.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so with this, we begin our story immediately into things. In a small, quiet place, underground, far below the surface, of a world that hasn't had much really going on for it. All of you, in your characters' mind's eyes, wouldn't really know about the wide expanse of history in this world. It is, all things considered, a young world that you are living in, are experiencing. And I think the best way to introduce you all is to get into things with Cal. So, what I'm doing with the start of this campaign is bringing each of them into sort of a individual start, before they all sort of, like moths to a flame, come all together. So let's start with Cal. I'm going to move them over to the Whispers channel. Hopefully this works. Alright, it seems... okay, I see what we need to do.
Character.
Everyone else move into the Whispers channel, actually, because that's how the sprites are working. They all turn off for everyone except for Cal. So, yeah, please move down there. Everybody.
That makes sense. Later.
Yeah. That's funny. Alright.
Very funny.
So, let's get you into a small place here. The other players won't be aware of exactly what's going on with these individual starting positions, but start with Cal here, in here. Let me change the music. This will be a... So, we begin our journey enshrouded in silence. A quiet pervades the small, secluded cave in which all is still, save for the breath, in and out, that churns in the chest of this place's singular, conscious being. You embody that being. You are that being, Cal, the Kobold, a denizen of Lyzak in the Embershroud Expanse, a massive cave system that sort of rises around a subterranean lake. And you are a guide of sorts for your village, exploring for resources and aiding in people's travel. But you've already explored so much of the caverns that snake out from the main expanse, and so much of the lake that reflects upon the Embershroud above. No, you here, in this cave hidden by the lake's waters, seek to explore the endless expanse that lies within yourself. Yet your explorations have borne surprising fruits. So soon after you've discovered this piece that lies here, you've also discovered its voice. It has shown you things, not asking of anything in return. Glyphs, symbols, the secret to arcane magic is seamlessly intertwined with your skill in archery, and so far it has served you well against any threats you've faced beyond this shrine of solitude. Yet the images of the voice come fewer and fewer. The journey it takes you on, well, they have dwindled to near nothingness at this point. You spent the better part of the last hour trying to reconnect to that same sort of deluge of images and new experiences that were impressed upon your mind before, but all you find now is silence. Until A brilliant single image pierces the shadows of your psyche, seemingly the only thing that can penetrate the silent darkness. A spire filled with rainbows of colors, all beaming for attention amidst the darkness around. They are reflected on waters below, and the image, well, it's well known to your recollection. The Shroom Spire, as your people call it, that illuminates your town in its glow, acting as a lighthouse for your fishermen. But with that, it's sort of a last spark that dwindles in your mind. So even yet, after that spark, after that image dwindles away, there is yet an ember, partially of memory and partially of potential that still glimmers somewhere within you, waiting to grow again. It simply depends on you to shape it. And at this point, well, you are left to the darkness, you are left to the solitude. Or anything you do before leaving this place behind, and perhaps following in, well, what the image has granted you.
Cal is going to sit still where he is, almost in his meditative trance, looking inward, just to reflect on this image he has been shown. And he murmurs to himself, what could this mean? And he just takes more time waiting here, thinking, in this space of silence that he has.
I would like a perception check from you. This is a good time to note. We are going to make perception checks and many other checks public. The only ones not public are going to be like stealth. But otherwise, I want a good experience for those viewing, so that they can actually see the rolls as they come out. So yeah, perception check. Public. Well, good thing you rolled a 10, because as you open your eyes after moments longer, grasping once more for that silence, that solitude, that peace, you finally open them, noticing something. Noticing something that you're pretty sure wasn't there before. A dull, glimmering shard. Some sort of item. And as you pick it up, you are impressed with the idea that this item, well, has certain properties. This gemstone seems primeval sort of gemstone. Some part of the construction of the world. Perhaps a last gift, beyond that gift of the image of the lighthouse.
Cal reaches to pick this stone up, turning it over in his hands to inspect it and get a better idea of what it might be.
It's dull, doesn't seem to have all that much magic, but it can float, seemingly, around your head. You imagine, perhaps, one day, in the future, you could find more of these, find something else, perhaps, that does have a power within it. This power that seems some way related to this voice of solitude. What else could it be, as it has been placed before you in this place?
It was meant to be, Cal says to himself as he floats it around his head before grabbing it again and putting it in his pack.
Okay.
And he stands then and prepares to go back to the town.
Alrighty. So with that, I am noticing that the chat automatically... Sure it does. There we go. As you head out, you follow the little path that leads out to the water's edge here, as this is a underground cave that you had discovered recently where, well, nothing except for the most keen of explorers could ever find it. It's always been a place of solitude for you, as you discovered it, we'll say a couple of months ago. But being a tunnel-foot kobold, being one who's well-versed in swimming, dive into the sort of dark waters and swim your way through until you reach the surface. And just as you reach the surface, you look up, and you see the Shroom Spire right before you. As, funnily enough, this cave itself lies beneath the island. It is sort of a point underneath it itself. It is not very far from it in any respect. But with that, I think, as you breach the water's surface, we're going to move on. Different person being called.
Excellent.
With that, I'm going to drag in here. You can leave the channel. Today, I will bring in Tresser. Hello.
Hello. Oh, it's my turn. Oh.
Mm-hmm. So, Tresser. We begin with you, in fact. Nothing. Ooh, see what I want. What's that? There we go. I don't actually have a... Here, actually, I should do this one. There we go. We begin with you, a nondescript place. Not exactly one I'm going to reveal immediately journey here, as I'm pulling it up, buying time. But yes, here we are. Deep within the winding ravines that branch off like roots from Durzak, your shrouded hometown, you finally discovered it. Gold. Hordes and hordes of gold beyond your wildest dreams. Your pick furiously slams against the veins of shimmering material as more and more chips away and drops into your spacious pack. Everyone always made fun of the amount of space you carry with you, but they'll be the ones laughing when you return with it filled with such precious ores. And the denizens of Lysak too, they'll be swallowing their words. They always kept all the light to themselves under that shroomspire of theirs, while your town, Durzak, sort of, well, glimmers in its own darkness. But no, this brilliant light made stone, this gold that you mine with your very own hands, will make Durzak the glittering jewel of the Embershroud Expanse. Far greater than that of Lysak. But as your mind races, your hands furiously grasping for the gold, placing it into your pack, gold falling all around you in a rain, it seems, you barely notice, rather, that it's a symptom of the whole cavern, beginning to rumble, beginning to crumble around you angrily. You steal its hoards, you take from the earth, and before you can come to your senses, you too become buried in this golden tomb. But you awaken. Awaken in your home.
What? Oh, it was another dream. Felt so real.
It was just a beautiful dream, turned bad. But you noticed something. That strangely, the rumbling from within your dream persists out in the real world. It's not one of those double dreams where you wake up and then you have to wake up again. No, your home shakes all around, cracks forming in its walls. But then it stops. So soon after the rumbling stops, do you hear shouts and screams outside your home. Seems after all, parts of your dream were reality, truth. Anything you do at this moment?
Well, I certainly get out of bed. Whoa. Was that an earthquake or... I'm going to pick up a couple miscellaneous, mostly unnotable things for going over to my front door and opening it.
Well, as you go to the door, in fact, you open it up, and pushing inside is a friend of yours. Hey, you're all right. You
all right?
You didn't bang your head or anything, right?
Not recently.
Well, of course, but you remember your friend's name, right? You didn't bang your head on anything. I'm Lorca. Lorca, yes. You remember Lorca, your friend.
Yes.
Yes, good. I came here as soon as I felt it, seeing What looked like half of Derzek fall down a dozen feet or so into the earth.
What?
Yes, you might want to get out of here. Because, the scale boss, he's gonna be asking questions. Why your house is right next to the precipice and hasn't fallen into it. You got surprisingly lucky, actually.
Are they okay down there? Just 12 feet.
Well, it happened a few seconds ago. I'm not going to go check on them. You're my friend. Look, you really should get out of here. You should go find some other friends of yours. Stay out of town for a little bit. You know how mean Zlernak is.
Oh, man. This timing is terrible. But thank you. Thank you.
I'll watch over your place for a little while, as much as I can, but come back with friends or something, because I think whatever happened here, it's not going to be something you can handle alone. And I'm not much of a fighter like you are. I know how you handle those strange things you pull out of your back. I remember you saved me from that little Europe thread.
Oh, I don't like fighting. I
know you don't, but either you leave or you try to fight the entirety of the gang.
I don't want to do that.
Get your things and...
yeah.
You look across the space and, well, get quite a lot into your backpack. Hopefully you can take some things out of your home. Compass, crowbar, hammer, lantern, your merchant's scale. You're stuffing it all, even your 4-person tent, into your massive backpack as you scramble to leave. Lorca sort of stands in the doorway, looking out to it. You better hurry up. They're already responding. And they're already sort of asking questions.
I'm packing. I never keep this place organized. There.
Alright. Just, remember where your home is. Don't forget, Derzak's your home.
Oh, of course. I could never forget Derzak. I could never forget my friend.
Yes.
You are a good friend.
I'll keep things, locked down here. I'll look out for you until you can make your return.
And I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to forget you.
Yes. Just until things die down. They'll start, beating you down for information about why your house survived and everyone else's fell into the earth. Yes, go.
Thank you. Till I see you again, friend.
Yes. See you again. As you slam the stone door behind you and rush through the streets towards the harbor, you have your own boat, your own rowboat, and you know that Lysak, where, well, you do have friends, is only a short distance away, down the coastline of the lake of the Embershroud Expanse. Anything else you would have done on your way down to the harbor? Anything you would have checked in on, looked at, perhaps? You do run by the now ravine that has broken its way through the town.
I would at least glance at it, see what happened to the homes and how deep the ravine may be.
Well, it seems like a good dozen homes have fallen into the earth. It's as if the whole of the earth just fell about a dozen feet or so, and no building is going to survive such a fall like that. And as you look back, strangely enough, your home is now on the precipice of a cliff face, just barely surviving, closest of any of the houses that didn't fall in. You already see one figure on the other side of town, sort of shouting at the others. What the hell's happened? Go find whoever owns that house. Bring them here. Knowing Tresser, he probably undermined the whole town looking for his gold. See, Scale Boss Lernak, seemingly, well, basically the leader of the town, his gang of other Scale Bolds, Kobolds really, it's the Scale Boss, but looking out for you. But you've already made it past, thanks to your friend's warning.
I owe that friend a lot.
Mm-hmm.
On my way out, could I use my esoteric lore to make some kind of a guess as to why half the town just caved in?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah. That can be public as well, since we'll roll recall knowledges as well. For the favor of, well, okay, that's a natural 20. Alright. So, well, you look at it, and you figure that sort of thing would happen, actually, because of some sort of undermining, some sort of, well, digging underneath the town. And it seems like it was a lot of it, too. You almost have to guess, because of that natural 20, that whoever did it on purpose. To have a whole part of the town all fall at once, perhaps they had supports for where they were digging, and then, well, took out all the supports all at once.
There's not. Why would anyone do this on purpose? It doesn't make sense. I don't have time to think about this. I'll ask my friends or new friends if I find any.
You do actually know of Rask and Cal. You've done some dealings with them from time to time, and to be honest, they are your next in line sort of friends in life for yourself. So, you know where they live? Across the pond.
Rask doesn't know earth that well, but Rask knows water. Maybe. Either way, any support is good right now.
Right. So as you start rowing, we're going to move on to the next in line.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm going to bring in Rask. See you in a bit. Hello, Rask.
Hello.
You join us in the middle of Lysak, in the town square, where everyone is in this massive shouting match.
Oh no, I hate this.
As almost immediately... Actually, I need to change the music because I have different music for Lysak. Here we go. You've always loved your town, but you've always been really annoyed by the bickering amongst your people. As...
It's the worst.
Yet again, it's happening. Everyone settle down. By the shroud, we can't get anything done with all this shouting. Your uncle shouts. Your uncle being the blue kobold over here in the fancy shirt. Come on now, just... He can't get control of the crowd, though. He shouts pretty weakly, and, well, he and many other kobolds like him have been stricken in Lysak, stricken by some malaise that eats away at the body, causing scales to fall off and eyesight to dwindle. No kobold has died from this ailment so far, but the older amongst your kind are bedridden, and the twin apothecaries have so far found no real cure to it. They can only stave off the worst effects. Yet all anyone can seemingly do is shout at each other, blame each other, demand answers where there are none to be given. To you, it's all so damn frustrating. They're all going to die if nobody does anything, and yet none of your suggestions have even been met with an ear. Even by your adoptive uncle. As the shouting continues, you sort of turn your back to it all. You look away from the square towards the shroom spire, sort of illuminating it down the main road to the west here. It alone stands as the light that shines over this town, piercing the gloom of the circumstance. You find some strength in it, its courage to shine above the turbulent waters all around it too, in the waters of the lake. If only you could go there. If only you could grasp a piece of that strength, find the strength to stand above the others, and find a way to help, at least. Or maybe just a little bit of peace of mind. Anything to get away from these crowds.
Yeah. I have a pair of earplugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shove them in my ears.
Alright, but As you're shoving them in your ears, one was trying to shout your name for a moment. They sort of rush across. Hey, before you put those in again.
What?
It's Brock, one of the alchemist twins.
What is it?
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to bother you. Hey, come over to the shop.
No.
Get away from the crowd a little bit.
So awful.
Yeah. 1 second. Can't see inside the shop. Hold on. Just gonna do this. There we go. Sort of slides across the roof into his little like storefronts here. He's one of the two alchemists, the twin alchemists, both golden scaled kobolds, but it seems only Brock is here today. Hey, all this nasty business, nobody's actually caring to lend me an ear either. So I was hoping you might. I know your skills. I know what you can do with water.
Well, I'm not really that skilled, but I mean, I can listen.
You can
maybe do something.
Get in the water, right? You're the best in the water as anyone. Ever since they, stopped anyone from going out on the boats, I figured you're the only one who could get out and, see where my brother is.
Is he missing?
Yeah, Croc, he really wanted to get out there and try to find some sort of cure for this thing. He went to, the Shroomspire Island. I told him it's a bit dangerous there. It's a reason we don't go and populate it ourselves with all those beetles running around. But he insisted that that's the only place he could think of with anything, that could cure this thing, or at least help people.
Maybe we could get Cal. Cal's good at
I haven't seen
things.
Cal around, actually. He swims out there sometimes too, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe he's over there too.
Well, okay. If it's Croc in danger, then I'll do what I can, but I don't want to make any big promises.
And maybe, who knows, maybe you found something and just need some help bringing it back. But, yeah, didn't your uncle do a little bit of fighting back in his day? He has something still back at the house.
Sure, I guess I could check.
Well, he's not gonna use it, he's just gonna spend it all bickering. Be more useful in your hands, I'd say.
Not that I would even know what to do with a weapon.
Oh, maybe not just weapons. Go have a look. House is across the street there, right?
Yeah, that's mine, right there. Oh,
Yeah?
thanks for pulling me aside. It was, I can't stand the noise.
Oh, yeah, I know how you get with the crowds, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna listen anyway.
Alright. I'll go check, and since nobody else is doing it, I'm gonna look for Croc.
Croc? Yes. Go find him.
Okay. And I start heading toward my home.
Mm-hmm. Sort of make your way a little bit through the crowds there, dodging kobolds sort of shouting at each other, some of them looking weaker than others. You see over there, Watcher Tisk, sort of the guard captain of this place, is sort of keeping a close eye on things, but otherwise doesn't seem all that enthused in trying to keep the peace. He's always been lazy, you feel.
Maybe I should ask my uncle directly.
Alright, you brave the crowds. I need a will save.
Yeah.
You push through it.
Oh.
Now that you have some goal in mind, some place to get away from all this, it's just gonna take 5 seconds. You have to ask your uncle something, so you can make it through. Alright, Rask. What is it? Oh, spit it out.
Look, can we just go in our house for a moment?
Look, I have to deal with this. You know, I'm one of the elders. We can't go off and play cards again. You roll me, though. A diplomacy check.
This is gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but...
No, yeah, I'm sure whatever it is, you can handle it yourself. Don't worry. Look. Just... you can handle yourself.
Fine. I just storm off toward my house.
Okay. Open the door.
Open the door.
And as sometimes dysfunctional as your family is, the home you've always had has been very cozy. Roll me a perception check as you're looking around.
Alright. Now that I can do. Thank goodness I wasn't a liar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, I missed it somehow. Yes.
Oop.
With that, well, you've always kept a close eye on things around the house. You've seen where your uncle and your aunt put things and this and that. They seem to never touch this corner of the room, sort of on the side here. You start rummaging through some crates and old barrels and things, and you do actually find some things hidden away in a small safe box. Seems to be Uncle Knack's old gear.
Oh, wow.
A grappling crossbow. It's not a gun. It's a crossbow, but yes. Some hooks along with it. A rod that seems to sort of congeal the energies of the mushrooms around this place. You'll actually notice that your house has little mushrooms that glow. Keep it lit. And a little bit of a healing potion. A dusty one. Seems like his days of dealing with threats to the village have been long past.
Well, if Uncle Knack's not gonna do this and Kale's out doing something else, who knows what, I guess it's better off in my hands for now. I'm just gonna borrow it.
Right.
And pick it all up.
Grab it all out of the
Whoa,
box.
it's a lot of hooks.
It's 3 hooks, yep.
Eh.
Alright. As you grab all those goodies, all those things from your uncle's other exploits, I assume you make your quick exit from the town before anybody notices.
Yeah, and this time I am putting in the earplugs.
Okay. Make your way down to the harbor, where the boats have been pulled in. Nobody's been allowed to fish now that, well, it seems that actually most of the fishermen are the ones who have been afflicted by this sort of wasting plague of a sort. But that's no trouble to you. You've always naturally been a swimmer. You control the water around you, as you do so. With that shroom spire, a little bit in the distance, maybe a couple of football fields away. No trouble to you to get there. With that, though,
Yeah.
that'll be the end of your intro. Moving on to... who do I have? Spores. Janor. Hello, Spores.
Hello.
You arrive at a different location than the rest. You are a stranger, a strange land. And your environment as you arrive certainly, well, gives you that impression. Let me change the music real quick. Let's do this one. As you arrive here, you think back on your journey. It's been so long since you have felt such winds. Not since you were at your home long ago. have you felt such a tumult, such a blustery wind all around you? That's why you were attracted to this place.
It certainly doesn't look like anything that would create such a wind.
It was that warm air coming from a cavern out on the surface, in fact, that piqued your interest. You'd never seen a cavern before that bellowed with warm, moist air originating from its entrance. Seeing nothing like it, you had to follow its currents down and down into the earth, until you arrived here, this whole new world. A precipice lies before you, hiding seemingly just within a footstep or two, the whole breadth of the world, this new world before you. And all around you, on your sides, flank these ever-present strange subterranean fungi. Well, that seem to be surviving in this place. Step towards this precipice.
Spores is ever undaunted. He's not afraid of any heights, and is certainly more than happy to do what he can to see what is before him.
Okay. As you step up, the cavern before you stretches out miles and miles beyond you, even so much that it seems that it has a horizon of its own down here, just like the horizons you saw across the ocean of your near to your hometown. It brims with a life of its own, a whole cycle of its own. You look down to the lake below you, hundreds of feet below, where even beneath the waters you can see the bright glow of volcanism, pushing bubbles of hot steam to the surface where the lake froths and billows. From there, the steam rises and rises to the top of the cavern, which is filled with tens of thousands of ember-like motes of light, which you imagine to be life forms of their own, feeding upon the warm vapors that bring them the sustenance of the lake. Microscopic organisms sort of billowed up by the air itself from those steam vents in the lake. Yet, amongst all of this new ecology that is brimming with, well, your curiosity, it brims your curiosity, I should say, stokes it, yes, that is the word. There is nothing amongst it all as curious as the spire of light jutting out from the waters, near what seems to you as a village of some sort. If you could just get down there to that spire and see it for what it is, maybe you can unravel just a bit more of nature's mysteries in this place of primordial energy.
Wow. Spores leans back from where he's been perched precariously across the precipice, almost draping himself over the air leading down to the abyss below.
Lean back.
As much as he would like to just jump off and fly right down to where he could get his answers, he's not quite able to do that. So he's just gonna have to take a long way around.
But as you're stepping back from the precipice, something you didn't really notice as your eyes were more keen on the ecology around here, you sort of brushed against cloth, a billowing cloak that hangs from a sharp piece of rock at this precipice. What else was here before, seemingly taking the same journey as you are? You can only guess what might have happened to that individual, as there is no other trace of their presence. But dust to dust, you suppose. Pay it nearly no other mind. Maybe you could bring that cloak with you.
Well, certainly no reason not to. Doesn't seem to be anyone's business but mine at this point.
Pick up the cloak. Realize it is fitted for the protection from a warm climate, and it certainly is warm down here with the steam and the hot atmosphere, hot and humid. So for you, being from the north, it's helpful, certainly. Makes it easier.
Certainly so. Spores had almost forgotten entirely the temperature as he rushed down here in his excitement, but, well, a lucky break is a lucky break. He'll take him where he can get.
Mm-hmm. But as you're looking around, actually, for a way onto that island, you happen to notice a lone rowboat with a single kobold and a lot of space in it. Starting to go by the cliff face you're at, and you see a way actually down to the water's edge. You could probably catch up to them.
Before he does that, though, he does lean back over the precipice and scream, and then shout out, "Hey, hey, wait up! Got space for one more?" And before that, and after that, he does go and try to reach his way down to the bottom of the cliff face.
I would say roll me a nature check, as you're trying to find the right time with all the steam rising and such to let your voice be carried by the wind down to this individual.
Gotcha.
DC was 10. It's good enough, especially with your expertise in the natural world. I have to move somebody else up here. Tresser.
Oh,
You hear a shout. Spores.
Hey, anyone that? Hey, you down there? Wait up! You got space for one more?
looks at all the stuff, copious amounts of stuff I brought. Well, one moment. I look at a few things, throw out into the water, just some useless things I accidentally brought with.
Tresser, you're maybe 100 feet down from this cliff face as you hear this voice shout down to you, an unfamiliar kobold.
Wait. Oh,
You are rowing your boat along the coast here as you hear this voice.
I kind of look up and squint. Huh?
Just wait there, and I'll come down to you.
Who are you?
Just just passing by. I'm just looking around, and I'd like to hitch a ride. That's alright with you, isn't it? Of course it is. Come on.
Depends. Where are you from?
From the forest. From nature's bounty.
The what now?
From up above. If that's what you mean.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Professor, you have heard tale of a realm above, but never met anyone from there.
Wait, kobolds can actually go up there?
Well, there's not much going up, because all I've done is go down. I guess I started from there.
That's weird.
You guys are having this conversation, shouting down and up from each other. Spores.
Yeah.
How about you just row out to shore, and then we can talk face to face.
Yeah, I'm getting very tired of yelling.
As you guys sort of meet up at the bottom there, Spores can hop into the rowboat.
Well met. Didn't expect to see another kobold down here.
Oh, there's lots
Name's
of
Spores.
kobolds.
Who are you?
Tresser. I was actually just going to the other village for reasons.
Oh, well, are you heading over to, that thing as well? And Spores gestures towards the landmark of note, the tower in the island in the middle of the lake.
Not the tower. I'm going to... Not Terzark. I just came from there for reasons. Going to the other city. It's an okay place, but I'm trying to meet up with some friends for some help with a problem.
Spores. Thinking about that, you're a little bit absent-mindedly looking out towards the what Tresser knows as the Shroom Spire, sort of the lighthouse that is outside of Lyzek. Roll me your perception checks for us.
Alright. Not blind anymore, right?
Not blind anymore, yes. You notice that there is a figure swimming very quickly, with a sort of a shark's tail, actually, but humanoid form, towards that lighthouse.
That one happened to be one of your friends, right? And Spores points out the swimming figure to Tresser.
Wait, what?
You see the shark tail there? Wait, do you even have sharks down here?
Would I know what a shark is?
You would know that there's like these dangerous creatures in the deep waters that do have fins like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not specifically shark, but you know. You also remember that one of your friends does the tail of a shark.
I mean, I know someone who looks like that.
Well, what's the odds it's the same person?
Low? I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't expect them to just swim all the way out here.
Shroomy, they seem to be swimming straight for the Shroom Spire. That lighthouse that Spores was so very interested in.
Maybe... Let's just go to the lighthouse. You seem interested. I just need to move more than I need to go to a specific... Go to the Lyzak specifically. That's the other town, I think.
Yes, thanks. Oh, if you're helping me out now, that makes us friends, right?
Yes, we are friends now, and friends help each other with things. Yes, friend.
Yeah, come on, help me get to the tower.
You don't owe me or anything, but like, yeah, help me. And so I'm gonna start rowing towards the tower. Friend acquired.
Rowing, acquiring a new friend. I'm going to move both of you down while I bring up our final person. Starnberck. Hello.
Goody.
We'll move us over to here. So, Starnberck.
Yes.
You finally made it. It only took a little bit of taming of the local flora, but you got here. This place, this expanse, it must be the source of the waters of your hometown of Budson. Something, though, is terribly wrong. How could a whole season of your crops up on the surface suddenly turn foul? The grapes, the wines to be made, all lost. Your patron demanded answers, no matter how far you had to go, and it has been a far delve. But eventually, you have made your way onto an island in the midst of the lake's waters, just a short distance away from some sort of village of kobolds. The isle basks in the glow of a spire of mushrooms jutting into the cavern sky, though it interests you fairly little. One of those kobolds seems to have made their way onto the island themselves, foraging or something else. It doesn't matter, though. This is the perfect opportunity to get some answers. All you have to do is make for a clean takedown, and you could pry some information out of this individual in front of you here.
Should be easy enough. After all, I do have the size advantage. So, I should be having little trouble just having a little heart-to-heart with the gentleman or lady in front of me.
Seems to be a gentleman.
Gentleman it is.
Mm-hmm.
Starnberck will try to approach the kobold.
Okay.
Carefully.
So, it seems easy enough. Not even gonna have to ask for a stealth check. They sort of have their back turned. They are rummaging through many of the mushrooms here. But as you're approaching... How? And making your way through the mushroom forests of the island of the Shroom Spire here, and you were following up on what you saw as a campfire, sort of billowing into the atmosphere here. Very different sort of smoke rather than the mist that you're so used to. You notice a figure starting to walk up behind them that is much larger than them.
Well, Cal's gonna try to sneak over there, moving quietly to see what's going on.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
You said you did want these blinds still, or do you want this public?
Stealth's blind. Because it's very different if you roll a natural 1 and you're still like walking forward, you know. I think it's good blind. The other stuff though is a lot more hectic when it's public. Or when it's blind, like recall knowledge and such. But yes, Cal, you start making your way forward. And as you do, sort of going from a little patch of mushrooms to the next, Starnberck, you taste something on the air. Smell something. Some other figure approaching.
The Nagaji's tongue shoots out, sensing something, and he perks up.
As you perk up.
Stopping his approach and just standing still.
Right behind you, actually, rummaging through the foliage. Another figure. I'm gonna move them up. Rask, you stumble into the glade as you're a little bit exhausted from the swim to get out here. You've been searching for a while for Croc here, and it looks like you finally found him. But there's another figure that's walking up around here. It's seemingly also looking for Croc.
Have I ever seen anyone that looked like that ever before in my life?
You have not. They look very lanky and very tall, in fact. Still scaled, like you are, but, never seen anything like it.
Getting a look on what's going on here, does it look like the bigger fellow is stalking after this gold?
Roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna hide.
Cal, you can't quite tell exactly. You just arrived, and as you're walking up, that figure seemed to already be standing still. You didn't notice them moving towards them, but rather they're just absentmindedly licking the air with their tongue. All the while, Croc is just still foraging through, completely oblivious to all of these figures suddenly gathering around him. Speaking of which, Tresser and Rask. Tresser and Rask, you both finally have arrived on the island and you're making your way towards that shroom spire, but you stumble into a glade where you notice a figure with a campsite, foraging of something it seems, but strangely you also see a figure standing near to them, and flicking their tongue into the air. You've never seen anyone like that. Spores might have, though. But at this point, with so many figures gathered here, it is up to whoever wants to take the lead on anything here to go.
I go behind a rock.
Okay.
Huh. What's that fella doing there? Oh, Grouch. Didn't think he'd ever come down here.
You know that, what is he?
The dull one?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's go say hi.
Not you saw this light.
Starnberck, you immediately notice the approach of these two figures, and all the rest of you also notice them, but Croc, as he was facing that way, sort of perks up.
What? Hey, what are you doing here? I don't recognize either of you.
Well, I don't recognize you either, and I'm not making a fuss about it.
Well, I mean, normally you introduce yourselves at least.
Well, I was working towards that. I'm Tresser.
Hi, I'm Spores. You just wanted to come by and say hi to our friend there. Hi, Starnberck.
I take out my earplugs so I can hear what's going on better.
Wait,
Councilman.
who?
He turns around.
What is that thing?
Starnberck just politely coughs into his fist as he's been like standing here, just observing more or less.
And
Yes,
Very good.
I do believe introductions are in order. I apologize for sneaking up on you, as it were.
well, how long were you there? And Cal, what are you doing here?
I saw the campfire. I came out this way to see what was going on.
It seems like a stupid idea in retrospect. Seems like everyone's coming here because of it.
Rask peeks out from around the rock.
Rask,
Yeah, usually don't make bright lights unless you want people to come to them. That's what a lighthouse is for, I think.
I had to eat. You know, it's not just the light, it's food.
Why not eat it raw if you were so worried about it?
Mushroom.
Wait, hold on. Who are all these people? I recognize Cal, Rask. I know you guys. You live across the street from me. What? Help me here.
I know those two.
Help you?
Well, yeah, I'm being closely stepped to by strangers. Stranger
I
danger.
start channeling water.
Look, you know those two as well. I know them.
You know them?
Yeah, we've met before. It's been a little bit.
Who are you?
Wow, rude.
Cal
Hi,
and
Rask. Could it be nicer to me?
Cal might not know Tresser as much, but Rask does, yes.
You all see little globules of water starting to float around the blue-green kobold down there as he doesn't really look like he's being aggressive, but he looks very nervous.
Is that your buddy, Tresor?
Well, the one with water, yes.
He doesn't seem very buddy-like right now.
So,
Yeah, I think.
let me get this straight. You, White Kobold, you know this big blue thing. You, Tresser, know Rask, and Rask knows Cal. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right.
I just met Sofa here. Sofa's
Spores. I think you said.
Forest.
Spores. Yeah, but we're friends. We're friends.
Yeah,
And
we're
you know, a
friends.
friend of a friend is a friend.
A friend
that
of a
makes
friend of
us
a friend of a friend.
Now, hold on just a second. I don't think it works quite like that.
I mean, sometimes.
Wait, is nobody attacking anybody?
As you
No,
say
I
that.
don't think so.
You would be attacking anyone.
Not quite yet.
Good. Okay.
The loudness of this encounter has been far above anything you guys have done individually or as a pair, as all of a sudden you hear buzzing and chirping within the mushroom sort of forest that is around you on the island of the Shroomspire. Like moths to a flame. These many beetles, ones, Rask, that you were warned about, glow amidst the dark, emerging from the shrooms, and don't seem very happy that their peace is being disturbed here, their territory being invaded. I need everyone's initiatives.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Rock screams out, "Ah! Kill those things!"
Dives into the tent.
Oh my goodness, my initiative isn't terrible.
For once. So, with that, let's get into the combat here. First combat of the campaign.
It could be
just
the last combat of the
Flash
campaign.
Beetle, someone better teach him some manners.
I sure hope it's not the last.
So, one of the beetles has already zipped out from the cover here and immediately descends upon Starnberck. Starnberck, that bright light is definitely pretty glaring on your eyes as it comes closer. In fact, as it gets closer, it's going to let loose this bzz, this flash of light. I need from you a fortitude save.
Should be easy enough.
25. Okay, easy for you. You sort of shield your eyes, you squint them. It's no big deal to you. But it's not done. At least, not yet, as it tries to strike out with its mandibles and rolls really high, a 16 there to start with. One thing to note, you guys may notice that there aren't dice for this campaign that are like rolling across the screen. That is because the old module that did that is deprecated and hasn't been updated, annoyingly. So we're going without the little graphical dice for now.
Oh.
As it bites a little bit into you, it sort of nibbles at your side, taking a bit of a chunk out, actually. 3 damage to you. That, though.
Looks like we've disturbed the wildlife. Well, at least they're really pretty. You okay there, Starnberck?
I can handle myself. Just, I surely wasn't hoping to find any of the wildlife here.
Of course, it is your turn.
Well, Spores would like to recall knowledge about if these are something that he could recognize.
Absolutely, roll say nature check. And we are doing the calls public. 26. What 2 things do you want to know? As you critically succeed, you know exactly what these are. You've seen some variation of them on the surface. They are definitely some bioluminescent big beetles. Yeah, what do you want to tell everyone?
Well, is there any way to calm them? You know, it's better to be at peace with nature than to disrupt it.
Get out of their territory, which seems to be the whole island.
Wow.
That's not okay.
Well, that's a right shame.
As your first question.
Second question, lowest saving throw?
The lowest save is their will saves. They are simple insectoids.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Well, in that case... well, it's a shame to be doing this, but... I really want to see what's with the tower more than I care about nature right now. And Spores is going to cast a frostbite targeting the beetle that's harassing Starnberck.
Okay. Across the way, past the tent there. Roll a fortitude save, alright. Orb coalesces around them, sort of sending them into a chill here. See if they can handle it. Certainly can't, actually. They almost critically failed that, in fact. The frost coalesces around it. It causes it to shrivel and die, in fact. It's killed by that frost.
Ooh, that's a bit much. Well, hopefully that sends the message. That's it for Spores' turn.
Okay, Starnberck, as you were lifting your mace, all of a sudden this one is destroyed in front of you. What do you do?
Starnberck turns his attention towards Spores. So, I shall repay the favor, yes?
Yep, you got the Druid seal of approval. You can kill these animals all you like.
He chuckles a little. Well, I'll try to do my best. He picks up his cane, holding it by the middle as he crouches it down into an almost predatorial stance, and starts to rage.
Okay. Unleash
Okay,
the rage.
Afterwards, he pauses for a moment before breaking out into a quick sprint as he does a sudden charge.
Alright. Sprinting across the battlefield. North.
Final action is obviously to move over here, and now I'm going to swing.
Skidding around the side of it, giving it no escape. Slam the griffin cane into it, this sort of 4-pronged mace at the top of it. As you slam it down into this thing, even though it wasn't your best showing, your pure rage, your strength behind it still bludgeons so hard into it that it smashes it into the dirt, letting that bioluminescent sort of goo out from it, splattering the ground. Another one dead.
My actions.
Alright. So, as you guys have gotten some quick heading on some of them, others are, well, bearing down on the kobolds to the south. This one here is going to rush up to Cal as the closest target. Angry at the intrusion, is going to flash its lights at you, trying to dazzle your eyes. Fortitude. That you do fail, as your eyes sort of take full, like, it's almost like a flashbang in your eyes. It's sort of this after image that persists for quite a bit, in fact. It's going to cause you a little bit of trouble in this fight. Then goes for a strike. You're sort of leering back from it. It does get its mandibles into you, dealing 3 damage there.
Cal raises an arm up to try to shield his eyes, but he's just not fast enough.
Mm-hmm. Rask, as you see Cal get hit, what do you do?
Yeah, that kind of makes me mad, and I coalesce some of the water that's swirling around me into sort of a, I don't know, just a big, like a big orb almost, and fling it at the one that's assaulting Cal with kind of a scream of anger.
Oh. Rask, give yourself a hero points. I think all of you deserve a hero point from your introductions, actually.
Oh, shucks, thanks.
You all roleplayed very well in those.
Thank you.
And it was going to skid by, but it sort of like stumbles back into it. It does hit.
For 5.
The water slams into it. It is this one next to Cal. It slams in, but doesn't destroy it. It's still pushing onwards, though its carapace is falling apart.
You know what? I'm gonna take a risk, and I'm gonna try to finish it off.
Okay. Aim it just right. Now that it's a little bit more aware, trying to defend itself against your water blasts. See if you can beat it.
Oh, I see what happened. I accidentally picked the... There's a toggle for picking 1 action or 2 action attacks.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, though.
Oh, I hit anyway.
You do hit. Rolling a 16 on that, total of 18, 4 more damage to it. 2 quick bolts of water, slash once and then twice into it to finish it off. Giving Cal some room.
Yeah, so I still have 1 action because I... Okay, and I'm gonna run over to Cal.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of defensively, protectively.
Right, the water swirl around. Maybe wanting to bite at wow, okay, tongue-tied. Wanting to bite at anything that would come closer to you. Right. So, with
Cal, are you okay?
I'm good enough for now. Thank you very much. You're not in the way of this one that I thought was down here, are you? He pulls up his bow and kind of points it to the south.
No, you got a clear shot.
And he's going to focus his arcane energies into this arrow he has knocked.
Okay. Runic inscriptions sort of follow along with the bow itself, sort of hovering around it as this art you've learned of imbuement of energy into weapons. Certainly would serve you well, but I need a DC 5 flat check because you are dazzled.
I wasn't sure if it was automatic or not.
Not at the moment. I might turn that back on. But yes, that's definitely hitting. Sort of graze it. But because the arrow is also teeming with these spines along its sides, it rips through the side of it, turning a grazing blow into a death-dealing blow. That one there.
I think I got it. And with his third action, he's going to recharge his spell strike. He takes a moment, lowers his bow, and focuses his energies.
Okay. As you do, one last beetle looks at the field, rushes over to Cal and Rask, right here. As it does so, it is also going to flash its lights angrily, as sort of an almost defensive mechanism here. And because you both are in the aura, I need Cal and Rask. Actually, Cal, it doesn't affect you because you're already dazzled. But Rask, I need your light flash.
Oh.
Also, failing as you get another one as it rushes up behind you. You turn around to defend yourself, but it's already blinking in your face, causing you to be dazzled. But because of how far it had to run, it used 2 actions to stride, 1 to light flash, and that'll be its turn. Tresser, during this whole thing, you were rummaging in your backpack. You feel like you have something for this.
And a fly swatter or something. I'm going to make an esoteric lore check on the remaining beetle.
Okay.
The exploit vulnerability action.
I believe if you click the button at the bottom of all of that, it'll give you what you do with that. I think it needs you to target the creature. It's like a fancy macro.
I am.
Either way, we can do it manually, just for the time being, as we try to figure that out. Just roll a esoteric.
Yeah.
Definitely beats the standard DC. I believe it critically succeeds at level -1. So, yes.
So that means...
Resistances, weaknesses, and immunities. Well, they have none of those. It is a very simple creature.
Okay, then in that case, it would be a personal antithesis. A fly swatter. Or beetle swatter in this case. My strikes will deal extra damage equal to 2 plus half my level, rounding down up, so 2 extra damage.
Right.
For my second action, I am striding up. And for my third action, I am striking.
Get into a little bit of flank there. As the light dies down, you have an easy strike going ahead of you here.
I missed.
You do, in fact, even with the flank.
I have a hero point, though.
You do.
I'm going to re-roll it using my hero point.
Wanting to be embarrassed by the showing here.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, you roll even lower than that, as you're...
Tricky picks are not very good for beetles.
rushing...
They're pretty tricky, right?
into the fray, sort of spilling some contents from your backpack. You just weren't exactly prepared for this. Spores, we go to you.
Alright, these flashing lights are nice enough, but so sad that they won't back down. Let's finish it off with something a little flashier. And, Spores is going to cast Tempest Surge.
Okay.
He lets his fingers dance out the components to draw moisture and static around the creature.
And the air here is well suited for it. May, though, be able to dive out of the way. It is not actually able to. You just barely managed to keep it on them as the electricity does its work. At least, though, it is clumsy too for a round, making its defenses even poorer, in fact. So maybe somebody else can finish it off.
Or Spores can chuck a javelin at it.
Oh, you can. Go right ahead.
Yep. I'm not sure if this is the range version or not, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah, go for it. Well, that'll be a critical strike, in fact. As because it is so clumsy by this lightning sort of surging through it, you get a point-blank shot on it and deal 4 damage, which is still alive from, actually. It is at 1 health.
Gosh.
Struggling to kill the last beetle, of course.
Euthanization should be done a little bit more cleanly. Can someone else do it?
Starnberck, your turn.
Starnberck just hisses in response as he once again breaks out into a sprint, charging past Spores and Tresser like a steam train let loose. Just brings the cane down on this beetle.
Rush into the fray. Still so clumsy. Easy hit for you. 10 damage there. Kills it off. Smashes it into the dirt. Getting no life left. As that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do this.
Okay, let's try to continue this conversation a bit quieter.
Cal's just rubbing his eyes, trying to make them adjust back to the correct light level.
Cal, hold still. Let me, see your arm.
Starnberck seems to return to his previous posture and firmly plants his cane into the ground.
Is everyone doing all right? Nothing worse than scratches.
I got nicked a little bit. I'll be.
I don't know. I'm
managing.
Just a little bit of a mandible bite, that's all.
Okay, just give me your arm, Cal. I got this. And my hand, I kind of like scoop up some of the water that's flowing around me and sort of gently lay it on Cal's wound. To heal 3 hit points.
3 is what he needed. The wound closes up. The ocean's balm.
Thank you, Rask. That's just what I needed.
Yeah, this macro's not doing anything.
We'll have to figure it out later. We'll just do it manually for today.
Yep. No big deal.
Wow.
I stare at the big reptile thing hesitantly.
What are you? I'm just gonna say it. I have no idea.
Well, I would appear that you all have been living under a rock. Well, where I'm from, I'm known as Nagaji. I'm here on an errand to well, help my city. You see, we've been having some bouts of crop failure, and as I've been tracking, trying to figure out where the water that feeds my city comes from, I've been led here.
Wow, that's a lot more boring than I expected.
You don't really look like a farmer to me.
Well, that's why I'm here on an errand. I'm not a farmer. I'm the one farmers ask for help.
You're like some kind of like a mercenary thing or something.
Well, not quite. I'm actually a doctor, as it so happens.
Yeah, I'd expect. Wait, I'd expect a farmer to wear more shirt.
You're a doctor?
I certainly am.
Doctor, that sorry, I saw that thing bite you.
Oh, please. I can take care of myself, please.
I can do it.
No, it's fine, really. Please, just...
Oh.
I admittedly have a bit of a pride to myself. I would rather take care of that myself. You understand, right?
Wow, I didn't know you were a doctor, Starnberck. All I knew about you is get off my property and no squatters.
Well, you were rather rudely planting yourself into my estate.
Oh, well, you know, nature offers its bounty to all.
I would rather that nature offers its bounty to me who owns it. But we should let bygones be bygones.
Yep, we're all friends now, right?
Are those things dead?
Croc.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
we got rid of them.
I knew that my brother told me this was stupid. Can't find anything out here that'll help. My trouble is almost killed by beetles.
We need to get you back home where it's safe.
Wait, what are you doing out here?
I'm trying to find some sort of cure for the plague that's in our town, Cal. But I don't think I've seen you around town for a while. Not like you've been around to help.
Is this the first time hearing of this?
First time hearing of what?
The plague that's occurring.
No, you've been well aware of it. You've just been avoiding the town because of
Okay.
it.
That makes sense.
You know, the one that's affecting your dad?
Huh?
Oh, yes, I suppose you're correct.
Well, it's certainly interesting to hear that my city isn't the only one affected by whatever seems to be going on.
Oh, and give yourselves 120 experience points the encounter for 80, and sorry. I'll rephrase that. 80 experience points for the encounter, 40 experience points for not letting Croc die. And Rask, your bar is the one that shows on stream, so it's your duty to keep it.
Like before.
No pressure.
I figured it would be easy.
120, right?
Yes, 120 in total.
Nice.
But yeah, we're gonna do experience points, but it's not gonna be like, you have to fight 5 million encounters and you get your experience from encounters. No, I'm gonna do a lot of story-based experience too. So,
Starnberck tilts his head and turns to Rask as he wonders about something. But if it just happens to be a simple matter of disease, shouldn't you be able to take care of it? With your healing abilities and all that.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, in regards to the plague that seems to be affecting your town, shouldn't you be able to help out a little, considering your capabilities?
No, I'm not a healer. I'm not really anybody.
Wait. Are you saying there's like a plague going around it now?
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, nobody's died yet, but
Oh,
people are getting sick and scales are falling off and stuff. And
well, I was coming to your village to lay low for a bit because, well, half of Durzak kind of collapsed into a sinkhole.
what?
Like, oh, it's not that deep, like 12 feet, but like a bunch of houses fell apart. Mine was spared, but was like right on the edge, so I had to kind of run because that was kind of suspicious. I didn't do it, by the way. That would be stupid. Why would I do that?
I think the better question is, how would you have done that?
Digging under the town, which is what I suspect someone else did.
What you suspect someone else did?
Well,
I don't know who.
I'd say that 2 is a pattern. Well, 2 is a coincidence and 3 is a pattern. Maybe all these things are related. Maybe something about nature has turned everything upside down for you guys.
Nature, right? Croc. Brock was telling me something about something that can be found here.
What could be found here? I mean, I've been looking for things, but
Some kind of something that would hopefully cure whatever's causing people to get sick.
well, that's my idea. That's what I'm here looking for. I really don't think I've found anything, and I've looked through all the mushrooms and all of that. He's the one who makes the potions, I'm the one who gathers the herbs.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure I can't find anything here on the island. But maybe there is something actually. You know down at the old exchange right here on the island?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's not much reason to know about it. It's just tucked away on the cliffside here, or rather, on the shoreline of the island. Many years ago, before both you and Cal's time, I don't know how old Tresser is, but it was, where Durzak and Lyzak actually did their trade between each other. They would land here on the island, just so that either went into each other's towns, and it was just all nice and tidy.
Yeah, that was nice.
It didn't last all that long, especially as rivalries grew, and now it's dilapidated. But, I did see someone go in there. Someone row their boat into it.
How long
Wondered
ago?
why. Maybe a few hours ago, really. Maybe, that was a day ago or so, I don't know. A long amount of hours, like more than 12 hours ago.
I didn't hear about anybody else coming this way. Not that I hang around people much.
It certainly sounds like something worth investigating, doesn't it?
Yeah, Cal and I will look into that. Right, Cal?
Sure, it doesn't hurt to go take a look.
Hey, I've got an idea. Listen, we're all friends, and we all want to go to the tower. Why don't we all go together?
My
Hey, as long
heart,
as we're not going to Durzak.
my heart starts pounding, and I get like sweaty palms.
You are already in the shadow of the tower. The tower is literally just a spire of rock that has a bunch of glowing mushrooms on it. So it's not like a man-made tower or anything like that, or a kobold-made for that matter.
Oh.
It is like a tower of mushrooms that glow, essentially. It makes it a lighthouse, but I say lighthouse because that's what it looks like, but it's not actually a lighthouse.
Well, that'd work.
I have
So you're
admittedly. Go ahead.
We kind of call it that sometimes because it sort of, in some ways, looks like a house, but it's not. It's natural.
I am admittedly somewhat interested in accompanying you two. After all, as a doctor, I can't really, just hear about a plague and let it go by in good conscience. I feel, rather that my duty called. I should probably have a look at the people.
I still want to still want to take a closer look at the tower. So I'm going for sure.
Oh yeah, you've never been here. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm new.
You guys are on the island with the tower, just to correct.
Yeah.
You're already here.
Yeah.
So,
It's
So, like-
a bunch of rocks with some glowing mushrooms on it.
yeah. Like you can look up
Right,
like
yeah.
50 feet, like 100 feet away from your spores. You're at the tower. You're here. I just didn't put it on the map because that would be
Alright. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going there to investigate it closer.
No, remember the old exchange is a place on the shoreline. That's the only place you know of that
Gotcha.
could be an investigation point. Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
I can show you where that is.
As someone from outside, I would certainly appreciate the guidance.
Yes, we can check there, and then if you want to go stare at the mushrooms, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm an outsider too. I also appreciate the guidance, I think.
Okay.
Everyone's on board, save maybe for Tresser. Doesn't mention much here.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the old trading post again. Man, it's not Durzak, so this could work out.
You totally collapsed the town, didn't you?
I did not.
Tresser says he didn't do it, and I believe him. He's not
Look,
a bad
there's
person.
a nasty gang of kobolds in that town, and I'm not necessarily friends with them, and it would be very easy for them to blame me. Like, while I was walking away, they literally were blaming me. I'm like, yeah, this isn't safe, so that's why I'm
You
here.
should stop talking.
Cal nods enthusiastically.
Wow, okay. Let's just go to the trading post.
All right.
I'll pack up here. I have my own rowboat. I'll get out of here. Meet me back in town, then maybe we'll have some new potions in stock for you, since you're running around now, I guess.
That sounds good.
So, you all look at the mushroom forest around yourselves. Rask
Just a moment,
Oh.
though. Spores does take like a few brief seconds to like nudge the corpses into the closer to the vegetation and the mushrooms. Just at least
I
getting the
lick one of
nutrients cycling back into the system faster.
I'll help with that. I'll follow your lead.
Tresser, what do
I
you do?
lick one of the beetles.
Roll me a fortitude save.
I'll miss
I
him.
deserve that.
You are afflicted with a luminescent aura for an hour. You will glow. As it seems like your scales take on sort of some of that luminescence as it goes through your body. That goo. or
Guys,
whatever it
help!
is.
I'm turning to solid gold.
Hey, you won't get the nutrients from it unless you eat it. Chew, chew, swallow.
I just wanted to know if it tasted good.
Well, did it taste good? I mean,
Not really.
As the beetles are getting buried, Starnberck will patch up his own wounds.
Okay.
I've always kind of liked when Tresser would visit and I would talk to him because he's not really like everybody else. And I can kind of identify with that.
Cal kind of shields his eyes from Tresser's glow.
Are you okay, Cal? You don't look so good. Cal. Look, I know we just met, but like, if we're gonna go to this weird place, you want to be
Blinded.
not blinded. Like, are you okay?
Have you really not met my brother?
Well, he's acting like he doesn't know me. He looks familiar.
We've probably met in passing, but I think you talked more to him than me.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, Rask is nicer.
This is Cal. He's my brother. Note, they don't look anything alike.
I'll take your word for it.
And I'm Rask.
Introductions.
What were your names again? Cal asked towards Starnberck and Spores.
Thanks, Cal. I was afraid to say anything.
Right, introductions. The name is Starnberck, at your service.
Hi, I'm Spores. I'm an old vagrant, just living off the land. So you two are brothers, huh? Way
Yeah.
from different litters or something?
Something like
Look
that.
way different.
We have different parents.
Oh. Yeah, siblings from different parents.
It's a little
Makes sense.
complicated.
It's not that complicated.
Wait, so
Starnberck squints at the gaggle of kobolds. I probably will take a bit to figure out who's who.
we
Ah,
look
you know me,
nothing
don't you?
alike.
Wow.
Well, he's not a kobold, so.
Well, you're
Yeah.
small and lizard, so kind of the same thing, really.
Here, you can
Okay,
remember me by this. And Spores taps Starnberg and lets a jolt of static electricity pass into him.
We're not lizard. You're a lizard.
So, with that logic, that means you are also a kobold, just very tall.
Serpent, actually, not lizard. There's a distinct difference.
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah.
a serpent.
Serpents don't have legs.
Oh, like those
Lizards
colorful
do.
snakes I avoid.
Cal looks at Starnberg's legs.
So you said you were a Najigaji?
Nagaji, yes.
Nagaji.
I think it's time for descriptions. Starnberg, since everyone's looking at you, would you care to describe what your character looks like?
Starnberg is a rather tall Nagaji, wearing a regal coat alongside, well, his gem-studded cane, which he proudly carries by his side. He usually keeps on a rather frigid gaze on his face, but it kind of tends to betray his more, well, slightly warm demeanor.
Okay. Cal, let's go to you.
Cal is a kobold. He's black scaled, but there's kind of an iridescent shimmer to his scales. He kind of has a face only his mother would love. Almost looks like some sort of deep sea creature, so to speak.
Grasp.
He unstrings his bow once the fighting is done here and holds it to his side. He definitely looks like an explorer of sorts. He has relatively light gear on, and it looks like he's designed to move. And, he has a book bound to his side.
Mm-hmm. Standing next to him, Rask.
Rask is kind of this greenish blue sort of kobold. His scales look unusually sleek for compared to any other kobold you've seen around the area. And he has these kind of ridges on the side of his neck, and it's hard to really explain, figure out what's going on. But yeah, he's dressed in like this waterproofed leather jacket or vest or whatever, and very, very simple town clothes otherwise. Some pants, a sash. He does not look like an adventurer, really, but more of a, maybe an almost troubled youth.
Mm-hmm. What other thing would a troubled youth wear than a black jacket?
He's goth, but any makeup would wash off in the water.
Another kobold, Tresser.
Oh, it's my turn. Tresor has kind of like a dirty-looking scale coat. It looks like a bunch of slag metals just kind of put on there, almost as if his body's pushing him out, putting him in his scales. He has a bulky upper frame and carries a big backpack, his form definitely following the functions. He's a bit of a merchant, goes a little bit of treasure hunting when he can, but that's more activities. His eyes look wide for a reason. He's a bit paranoid, occasionally checking over his shoulder, only to see a backpack and a little bit of a view behind him.
Mm-hmm. Last but not least, Spores.
Before you stands a very soft, very fluffy looking kobold. So this impression comes mostly from the current coating shrouding his small frame. The way he moves with a jovial bounce to his step, and the white shade of his scales might remind you of a cloud. Like a cloud, his soft, carefree exterior belies a powerful lightning magic, a burgeoning roiling drawn from the tempests of nature.
See, somebody had something written down.
Yeah.
And of course, Spores EX is responsible for all the art of player characters, so you can thank them for that. Very nice indeed. So, with introductions out of the way, descriptions in order, and an objective in mind, I think now would be a good time for us to take our 5-minute break. We're
Sounds
doing
good.
so.
Fantastic.
We will move on to a different screen here and see you guys in 5 minutes. See y'all.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Alright, here we are. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right back into things here. As you all finish your introductions, you have this idea of a place to go look. Something strange, at least. It's your only lead, really, at this point. You heard that it was a old exchange, sort of an old, whatchamacallit? An old, trade depot,
Trade
yes. Mm-hmm. So, let's head on over to there, since I believe that's where you guys are going. Let's go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I gotta change the music for this. I think this is fine for old place here. Bring you all in. As you sort of clambered down some of the, rough gravel cliff faces here. It's not too bad, not too hard to get down here. Reach the bottom. Next to the shoreline, the foliage certainly is a little bit more of a briny tint to it, so to say. We'll arrive here.
Oh wow. Multiple walls are still standing.
Seems sturdy enough, but there are certainly sort of scores and holes in the side of the building here. It's, you recognize, though, that it is hardstalk wood. Hardstalk being a mushroom that is basically a tree, so I can use wood in my maps. But,
Smart.
it's definitely showing some signs of decay from the present mists of the lake. It's probably been in disrepair for years. So, this is a good time to explain or establish exploration activities. Who's doing what as you're stepping forward here?
I'll be searching if no one else has a problem with that.
I'm gonna be searching as well.
Good question. I gotta think about this real quick.
I'll probably be searching. I can't think of anything else I'd be doing. Actually, that makes sense for my character to be searching, constantly looking over his shoulder.
Exploration activities.
Search, investigate, basically just lets you always, recognize that there's something interesting to look at. All that. Scouts,
I have
good one.
nothing for knowledges, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I think I'm just better off just going on search.
I cannot find a search in the macro.
You don't need to find it, you can just shout it. Let me know. Fact. So,
In that case, I will scout.
alrighty. +1 to everyone's initiative. And as you guys are clambering your way down the hill a little bit here towards the shoreline, those of you who are searching, do make a perception check as you look forward here. For these are public now. I know you guys have,
We've been building up the habit.
Yeah.
But before you actually make your way down towards it, Spores notices, and Tresser in fact, notices that you're not alone here almost immediately. Seemingly in front of the building are two figures. Slimy, scaly figures wielding spears in hand. They seem to be bickering to each other in some sort of strange language to most of you. Though, Rask, even at this distance, you're picking up bits and pieces, actually. They don't seem to have noticed you since you noticed them first.
Oh. Are these more friends of yours? I don't think I've ever seen a kobold that looks like that.
I don't.
I certainly
I want to see if I can hear them.
Okay, Rask.
Listen in.
Roll me one more perception check. Testing your sense. 15 is the DC I said, actually. So, even from up here, some of the winds do carry their voices. They are speaking in Thalassic, which is the voice of water, sort of the creatures underwater speak that language because it's a very easy language to understand underwater. Makes sense. Above water, it sounds gurgly, burbly, sort of strange. It's meant to be carried by water bubbles, but in the open air, it can be understood still. Rask, you hear...
Oh, hurry up with it. I thought you said this was going to be easier.
The other one sort of responds,
I said this would be more clever, not exactly easier. I didn't expect this door to be locked. Well, why can't we just swim into it? It's open on the other side. Well, that would be obvious, wouldn't it? That kobold that's in there is probably watching that way anyway.
They continue to bicker
Can I
about
make-
how to best open the door, though.
Can I make a quick esoteric lore check to learn about the creature?
Sure thing. This will be the last check, though, you guys can make before you have to start rolling stealth or doing something about them. Tresser, as you try to figure out what's going on with these guys, it's on the tip of your tongue, but that is too low of a roll.
I don't know what those are.
Well, they strike me as kobolds. I mean, I certainly see a resemblance.
There's a kobold in there, and they're trying to do something sneakily. I don't think they're up to any good.
Well, we can make sure. We can just go up and say hi.
How about instead of introducing them to us, we shall introduce them to the floor? That seems more prudent.
That's a little mean.
But what if they aren't? What if they're friendly?
Yeah, well, we don't need to fight them.
If I
That just
I
seems
mean-
excessive.
I commend your optimism, but considering we are sieging down this poor kobold inside, are we sure we can say that they're friendly?
It's not optimism, I just don't want to fight them.
It's okay. I can zap them once or twice, and if they're nice, we can say sorry.
I can talk to them.
Okay.
Can?
I step forward suddenly.
Step forward, just as they seem to have started to notice your presence here. You guys really didn't have anywhere to hide, and your voices may have been carried by the wind. One of them sort of looks over, the one that was sort of saying that their plan was clever.
Hey, look. Looks like our meal came to us today.
It's far enough, both of you, I say in Thalassic.
Oh, and it speaks our language, too. Are you sure you're not a kobold? Look like one, but you speak the language of the deep.
Shh. What are you doing?
Well, we're looking for a meal. Your kind doesn't make for the best of lunches, but we'll take what we can get, especially when it walks up to our front door.
I tell Cal and the others, we can probably kill them.
Spores was waving cheerily at them the entire conversation, and now his waving turns into more of a farewell.
They want to eat you.
It's not always that our prey learns our language.
It's unacceptable. I do not wish to be eaten.
Yeah, draw my weapon.
Alright.
Alright.
Once Rask says they
Or-
plan.
Before you guys roll
Bad things.
initiative.
Hmm?
Before you guys roll initiative, 1 second.
Oh, yes. Just roll your initiatives. We'll add +1 if
Okay.
it matters for it. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get into the flow of adding these buffs preemptively and such. Because it would not have mattered here at all.
I nailed it.
as These two scaly creatures you really haven't identified yet start to slither towards you rapidly, in fact. Let me get my combat music going.
Well, I'm glad you could clear up that these were very obviously evil, so we should move on to business.
Well, you can't say an animal is evil if it's looking for a meal.
Go after the one that speaks our language, brother. We'll take it down together.
As it slithers across, it doesn't seem all that well suited for the land, though. It takes a while for it to get up to you. It only has a single action remaining, but as it does so, it is going to use its one free hand to try and grab on to Rask, letting him go nowhere here. And that, being a 26, is not a critical success, though. Even though at this level it would be a critical success for anybody else except for a kineticist. Your DC is 19, if I remember correctly.
Sure is.
Only grabbed here as it gets a hold of you. The other one, willing to take advantage of that, also has to spend 2 actions because you guys stood in the exact right spot. When it gets here, the music's a little bit quiet. Let me up. There we go. Crazier, this music sounds different. Anyway, let's go for the spear attack as they rush forward. They critically miss, actually, as somehow, some way, they're stumbling over each other trying to get to the feast that is before them, and they screw each other up. With that, Tresser.
Okay, I'm going to use my exploit vulnerability on these guys.
Alright.
That macro does not work still, so I'm going to just make the esoteric lore check.
We'll figure it out for the future. 15 against the DC. Their standard level is not going to be a success, unfortunately.
Just a normal failure?
Normal failure.
Okay. Personal antithesis can still apply to them.
Yes, on failure still, yeah. Still
Friggin'
books.
fishnet.
Okay.
Personally,
I'm
with a lemon garnish.
I'm going to step up by this one and make a strike against him.
Alright. Sort of wrapping the end of your pick with a fishnet. You try to strike into them, but unfortunately, unless you had some sort of advantage there, you weren't going to get it. Miss.
Ah. That is my turn.
Okay. At least you prepared yourself a little bit there. Cal, as you stand in the back, what do you do?
I don't know what these things are, but I'm gonna make them die. I'm gonna cast Sure Strike.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to take out the one in front of Rask with as he pulls up his bow again and knocks another magical arrow. This time the arrow lights on, or actually, ice starts to form on the arrow as he fires it.
Okay. Use magic to make sure that your arrow will hit its mark. Let's see if the magic can do the work.
1 second, my macro's messing up now.
Oh gosh. New characters.
Actually, it's not frostbite. I'm sorry. It's gonna have to be ignition, so fire instead of ice.
Okay.
Can I use the melee ignition with the ranged strike? With the bow?
Pretty sure you can actually, because it does transfer melee spell attacks too. So yeah, you absolutely could. If it was going to hit. Unfortunately, 5 and a natural 1 there.
I can't hero point that because it's already a fortune effect.
Already a fortune. You unleash the shot, but it seems like the magic didn't find any firing line either. There's just no way that was hitting.
It just fizzles out.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna knock another arrow. This time filled with a different kind of magic.
Okay.
And he's gonna fire a arrow that almost seems to phase through people. When he goes to the target.
Tresser is not providing cover for this.
That's cool.
It's only a
It's
+2.
out, but back in.
Oh,
But
well.
your rolls, you're a little bit too taken aback by these creatures. None of it was hitting.
You've got this, lightning guy.
Of course.
Okay.
So,
Wait. Oh, yeah. Do we know what like the role for a recall knowledge is before we actually use the action?
yeah, I will tell you, like society or religion or something like that, yeah. You don't need to
Warrants,
guess.
guys.
Yeah, these guys are society.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, can't do that. In that case, Spores is going to make good on Kyle's suggestion and cast an electric arc.
Okay. Twin targets, twin spell. I'll roll for each of them. One of them slithers out of the way, the other one not so lucky, the one that's trying to hit Rask, not the one that's grabbing him. Alright, 4 damage. The one at the top does take the 4, the other takes the 2. But they seem a lot more formidable than those beetles.
Certainly seems like it. Spores is going to spend his last action. You know what? He's going to do the javelin thing again.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you do hit with the javelin, though.
Wonderful.
Swing another javelin out, carried by the wind, slams into this one. Another chunk out of it. Alright.
Yep. Spores sort of wrings out his hand after making that launch, and that's it for his turn.
Alrighty. We go then to Starnberck.
Starnberck just takes a deep breath as once again his rigid posture shifts to this animalistic hunch almost.
Mm-hmm.
As he once again starts to rage. And then proceeds to make his way around the fisherman.
Alrighty. All the way around. They don't seem that reactive, they can't strike at you as you're rushing past them.
And with him now behind them, he will just jam the cane just over this scout's head.
Alright. Unfortunately, try to strike. They reel back and deflect.
That's my turn.
You have hero points as well.
Oh, I do. I should probably use one here. I
Mhm.
will actually use one here.
That's definitely a hit. In fact, it is not taking into account flanking, I don't believe. It is actually, no. I don't know why it's not showing it the same way, but it actually is showing it. But, yes, it is a hit.
Nice.
Hit from a barbarian is going to be a nasty one, no matter what. As you slam the cane into its back, it crumbles under it, but still sort of wriggles its way back up. Alright. Cal. Or, not Cal, Rask.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna have to do, since I didn't have it active already, is channel elements to get my aura going again.
Mm-hmm.
And if I extend this, as part of activating it, I can also use a one-action elemental blast. So I will target the one that's already badly injured.
Alrighty.
And I grab a bit of water as I create my aura and kind of freeze it into an icicle. As I look for my buttons.
Mm-hmm. Freeze it into this sort of pick, this dagger.
There it is, okay. And go for a melee strike against this guy. So it has to be one action. Got it, confirmed. And I chose to emphasize the coldness. I am redoing it.
Okay. Still
That's
missed.
cool.
So unfortunately, you guys have a little bit of bad luck on these dice, as they've taken you by surprise almost, by their furiosity.
Well, that was just my first action.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to attack with it. At -4, cool. I do a second swing, and I use both actions to do this.
Alright. That'll definitely hit. Missed the first. You come around for the second, slamming the
Full
pick
damage.
straight into its skull and sending it to the ground. Dead.
Froze his head.
Mm-hmm.
And my little icy knife pick thingy just kind of dissipates.
You'll pay for that.
It's going to go for a strike with the jaws straight into you as it has a grip on you. It makes it easy, in fact. A crit. As you are bit harshly there. 4 and 4, total of 8, 8 and 8, 16. You're barely holding up after a terrible bite is levied against you here. You also begin to bleed as well.
Cool. I'll use a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Salt wound.
Okay.
So as soon as he bites me, like from the wound that he's biting, I like channel nasty salt water into him, and he's got to try to do a fortitude save.
He fails it. Mm-hmm. As his blood is salted, he's sickened 1 and takes persistent acid. Alright. But it's not the only thing he can do on his turn. Seeing as Rask is bleeding out, he's going to worry about somebody else. He's going to shift around to Starnberck and just make 2 quick claw strikes at him. Agile ones. But unfortunately, because they're sickened, their last one, they got a little bit lucky on it, but they still fail as they sort of have a little bit of doubts as they're feeling queasy. That'll be their turn.
Alrighty, I'm going to try Esoteric Lore again. The Exploit Vulnerability, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can do that once a turn.
Takes 5 acid damage. And that's a natural 20 for your Esoteric.
Cool! I get to know its weaknesses.
It has no weaknesses, immunities, or resistances. It is a basic creature.
Nothing. I'm gonna exploit a personal antithesis then. 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use my second action to stride over this corpse.
Okay.
Then my third action to strike.
Remember, you can do flanks, and you and Starnberck are basically the 2 melee characters.
Then I'm instead going to flank here rather than there
Hmm.
before striking.
Alrighty.
Kind of melee sometimes when I'm not at range.
A little bit.
Kind of.
That'll be a hit, Tresser.
Okay, strength, backstabber, implements empowerment, and
You can add +2 after the fact if it's causing you some issue. Lift 10. There we go. And then +2, right? Because it's weak to your strike. I believe so, right?
personal
Tresser?
antithesis.
Yeah.
2 extra damage.
Okay.
I have a fishnet attached to my tricky pick.
Mm-hmm. So
That's
as you
my
rush
turn.
up, slam your pick into him. Kyle, we go back over to you, maybe for some redemption.
I was gonna move over here to get a better line of sight to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling up his bow again. That flaming arrow.
The flaming arrow is stocked and ready.
Use a hero point.
Okay. Though this time you finally make your mark and fire off a shot that will hit for 5 on the piercing.
This is my macro can't do damage. Do the ignition.
Melee fire damage. The fire is what burns them to a crisp. They are destroyed by that. They fall to the ground dead.
Hey, be careful with that, okay? Don't want to start any wildfires now.
There's a lake right there. There's plenty of water if we need it.
Yeah, but, smoking ashes can cause a fire long after you're gone.
There's also a dry wooden building nearby with an inhabitant inside.
As that one falls, give yourselves 100 experience points.
Speaking of that wood, I've never seen something like that before. Is it
Yo,
oak?
this guy has money.
Rask, you go unconscious. You bleed a lot
But
there.
can't I heal myself at the start of my turn?
Correct, yes, actually. Tresser, you do loot 3 gold pieces from one of these.
Why did he have money? Do fish have... Is this like minted as fish currency? Or like the same stuff we use?
So these definitely aren't kobolds, right?
No, they look nothing like us.
These are not kobolds,
Well,
these are
I
like
mean,
fish.
we look nothing like each other either.
No, you look like kobold. I look like kobold. He looks like kobold. He looks like kobold. He kind of looks like kobold, not really. He's...
Yeah, these things also look like a
Why do you have
kobold, yeah,
abs?
me.
Snakes can have Oh wait, you have limbs. That would explain it.
So do I need to
Any-
roll recovery for this, or does it just work?
Nah,
off?
once you healed, once you got healing spell on you, that's what can remove it. So, you're good.
Spores lifts one of Rask's ears. Are you sure he's a kobold? He's got these things, whatever these are.
They're just my ears.
Big scales. Oh, yeah,
Ears.
he looks like kobold.
None of us have
Kobold
that.
enough.
He is a kobold.
He's kobold shaped.
Look, I have these, and you have nothing. And, Cal points at his fins.
I'm the expert on these kinds of creatures. On creatures. Kobolds.
Look, I'm not a freak, okay?
I didn't say that. I just said you're kobold.
Ugh.
Leave him alone.
I didn't do...
Rask, give yourself a hero
okay.
point.
You took quite a bit of a beating there. May I have a look at this?
Yeah.
Be sure to stop the bleeding, if it hasn't already.
Thank
Pretty
you.
beat up. It was a really bad bite. Might be a little bit scarred after that from that. Like a fish bite. Actually, more like a shark bite.
I don't hear point that.
Okay.
Are you gonna use risky surgery and knock him out?
I don't get
Not today.
I don't get level 1 feats, unfortunately.
Rask, cornered as you are, you realize that he actually does know a good bit about medicine. You feel a little bit better.
Let me actually roll the healing, because that macro does not work well with the hero point thing.
Yeah. So it's a 2d8s of healing, I believe.
Thank you.
$11? That'll be pretty good for Rask. Much better. As Starnberck takes 10 minutes to heal, to patch Rask's wounds. Cal, Spores, Tresser, what are you doing during that 10 minutes?
Cal's gonna.
Spores is
Go ahead.
No, Spores is going to take some time to just sit by and play with sparks of electricity in his hands, which is his way of refocusing.
Mm-hmm.
Cal's also going to kind of sit, or he's gonna get down on his knees and kind of like meditate as well to refocus.
Okay.
Professor was going to ask Cal what he does for a living. But seeing Cal so focused, yeah, I'll leave him alone.
It's not that hard to do. You can still ask him.
Cal, what do you do for a living?
Cal just opens one of his eyes again and kind of just glares at you.
You glare at people? Does that pay well?
No, I'm a guide of sorts. If you want to find a good fishing spot, you come talk to me. Or if you don't know the coolest, shiniest local cave, you just come to me. I know some good ones that have lots of reflective crystals in them.
I might have to take you up on that offer. Later.
Eventually, though, you guys refocus, you heal up, all feeling much better. Tresser and Cal, give yourselves another hero point.
I think you got it, Starnberg. Thank you.
I feel so happy.
Apologies, I get a bit carried away with this. It should be all better now.
Yeah, it feels fine. I should be able to move around without any problem. Thank you.
Of course.
It's gonna cost you 5 copper pieces, though, Tresser.
Oh, let me see if I have that. We're doing that later, though.
Of course, we're here on a mission.
I think I don't have any copper. Will you just take like a gold piece and call it even?
We can deal with it later.
Yeah, later.
So, you guys have this dilapidated building for you. Hardstock wood, and what seems to be some windows, actually. Though, Tresser, as you get close to it, you realize on the other side of the window there is some curtain that just doesn't allow you to peek inside.
Huh. Wait, what? Why are there curtains? It's like... Oh wait, that glowy mushrooms. That's right. Sometimes those glowy mushrooms get way too bright. That makes sense.
All around you, it's quite easy to see because you're on this island where there's so many of these glowing mushrooms. These ones that you see here, actually.
Did Rask translate that there was a kobold inside? I just wanna...
I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I mentioned that there was a kobold
did.
inside, and that these guys are up to no good and want to eat us or something.
Thank you for verifying. Let's knock and tell that guy inside that it's safe now.
Isn't he just gonna be asking if you're actually, us and not those fish?
Do I look like a fish to you?
We can always speak to them in Kobold.
None of us look like fish here.
You don't look like fish. You may have fish-like qualities, but you don't look like fish. I've never seen a fish with legs. Actually, oh wait. No,
You just did, Tresser.
we just did. Oh,
They're over there.
yeah,
Starnberg just
those
told
are fish with legs. You are kobold with fish.
He's not talking about you, Rask. It's okay.
Like you trade fish, and you swim.
Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty cool. Anyways, knock knock. Just gonna tap the blunt end of my pickaxe against the door.
There is no response.
Okay, it actually is locked, so those guys weren't just stupid.
Well, as you're looking at it, actually, there's no real lock. Like, there's no padlock or, like, a keyhole or anything. It seems locked from the inside by probably, like, one of those wooden bars that you can place across double doors, that sort of thing. So, entering this way would take some serious force. But again, you haven't looked around the whole place.
Yep.
But his force is never serious.
Not from you.
Let's look around. Come on.
Yeah.
Look through the side here. Notice that the curtain is drawn a little bit away from the side of this window, allowing you to peer inside. A little storage space of some sort.
I assume these windows are not the opening kind.
They are not. Unless I actually, like, if I specifically use, like, a handle on the window, which are in my assets, like, you can't open them.
Okay.
If I may be so bold, if you're planning to break it enter, we may as well use one of these windows.
Let's just see if there's another entry point first.
There is. And I point.
Side. There's a door, a side door, next to some old sacks of whatever.
Does this door seem to be sealed closed like the front door?
No, actually. You try it and it sort of sweeps open with a creak. That's what I was trying to go for.
Cal's gonna try to open it quietly.
Roll me a stealth check then.
Alright.
Alright. Do it stealthily. You don't make too much sound, you don't believe.
This looks like it's just a storeroom in here. There's another door on the other side, though. So step into the room and kind of start looking around a little bit.
All right.
Be
Are
careful.
you avoiding notice as you enter, as your exploration activity?
Yeah, we're gonna use avoid notice for a little bit.
Okay. So I will say roll me another stealth check because it is a different thing you're doing. Okay. You creep into the room, Tresser closely behind. Tresser, are you trying to be any stealthy or?
A little stealthy since Cal's doing it. I'm trying to step on the same planks that he does so as to not make too much sound.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
It looks very weird because we have different leg lengths.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're carrying like a 50-pound backpack.
Stealth is still
Yeah.
blind.
I am sorry.
Only stealth and deception that I'm keeping blind because I like those being blind. All the rest is public. It's as if the 17 never existed. Alright, so you both step into the room and have a look around yourselves. You see old, raggedy sacks that seem to have been torn open, and you see crates and barrels, all of which is rotting away in one form or another. You doubt there's anything of value within any of it anymore.
Probably looted long ago of anything that was left here.
I'm gonna go into.
Now you notice to the south a broken window. Actually,
I was just gonna take a cursory look out the window.
it's out into the lake.
And you had mentioned that it's the water is really kind of gross here, right?
The water of the lake is, well, the coloration of this is my attempt at reflecting a red sky because your embers are above. It's not necessarily murky, just because it looks like a brownish red. But yeah, it's not as clean as like crystal clear, beach water up at on the surface, because it is all underwater. It's all runoff and stuff. But
So
Yeah.
normal for here.
normal, yeah, I'll say normal.
Okay.
By the way, I assume the building here is basically kobold sized with doorways and everything.
Sort of, yeah. You have to hunch down a little bit to get it through the door. Kobolds can be pretty big.
So I'm heading on in.
Let's go ahead in. Well,
I don't wish to be left out, but are you sure these rotten planks can carry me?
Only one way to find out.
Sneaky, like everyone else is.
Starnberck ducks inside.
mm-hmm. Tuck
Well, this is
in.
gonna be a fun adventure for you. Ducking down
Spores.
into every door.
Spores, are you entering as well?
He's not gonna enter quietly if he does, so he's waiting out right now
Okay.
until they decide to be loud.
So,
His walking's too happy to be quiet.
Cal and Tresser were actually doing a pretty good job of not making much noise, but unfortunately Rask, Starnberck especially,
Oh, no.
as you enter this place, you start to hear chittering, and more chittering, as these many, many, many swarms of rats begin to pile out from underneath these sacks, underneath these crates, trying to protect their, well, rotten gains here. I need your initiatives.
I hate it
Oh,
here.
Rats. Well, at least it's not a rubber room.
Mm.
They pray at night, they stalk at night.
Oh no.
I think these are like mouses. These aren't like gnarly rats that they have.
Not
in
even
these.
rats.
Yeah.
I'm using stealth for my initiative.
Okay, yes. And the rats will roll as well.
I still get a 10.
Mm-hmm. Terrible, but...
I actually have dexterity this time, and I still roll like 10s. This is great.
still be
This
going
is
before
familiar
you.
and comfortable.
But however, Spores, Cal, Tresser, you guys actually have to jump on them. You realize what's happening as they're coagulating into a swarm here. What do you guys do? Starting with Spores.
Well, I'm definitely freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Boy. Well, I do have an option for it, but it's a little bit Actually, I'm not sure if this even counts as AoE damage. Would a 2-round Horizon Thunder Sphere, count as AoE damage for the purpose of swarms?
Spend another if you do, it explodes, dealing damage to all other creatures. Yes, it would be a AoE. Yes.
Gotcha, because technically the target itself doesn't take the emanation damage.
It would still count as if it were doing that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, well, hey, I've got something for this. It'll take a bit. Might want to get out of dodge when it happens, but it'll be a fun zap. And Spores starts charging a Horizon Thunder Sphere. It's a first turn.
Okay. You lift your hands, and this sphere charges, growing and growing and growing, and barely hold back the energy that's spilling out from it.
Where are you aiming at?
In that direction.
Cal, find yourself next to a door, but sort of cornered. These crates and such, it's easy for the rats to clamber over them, but for you, it would take a jump or something, a special action by itself, rather than just striding on top of them.
Gotcha. Are these barrels in the corner stacked very high?
Yes, high enough that it would cost something.
Okay. Well, to begin with, I'm just gonna try to. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna try to clamber over these boxes.
Okay.
Would this be difficult terrain, or is it gonna be like an actual jump or
It
something?
would be an actual jump because of your size.
Okay, 1 second.
For Starnberck, he could step right on top of him as difficult terrain.
Is jump a one action thing or multiple?
Yeah, it's just a one action to leap 10 feet, essentially. For your
I need
purposes.
to do a roll for it, correct?
No, not for leap.
No, it's only if you long jump.
Okay, so he'll jump. Is it 10 feet?
Yep. Leaping up top there, it's harder for the rats to get up there, so you'll have a little bit of a resistance to their attacks.
The whole classic jump on the chair thing when a rat runs in the room.
Yep.
And I'm gonna spell strike this rat swarm in the northeast.
Okay. They clamber out from many boxes and crates there, screaming all together. See what you can do to them.
You will see.
Well, that's going to be a crit, in fact. With your bow, you just aim for the center mass of all of them, trying to hit as many of them as once as the arrow rips into them. They don't take as much of that piercing damage, but they do take all of the ignition damage. In fact, the ignition just spreads through them like a wildfire, and they all inevitably die from that.
And that should be 20 damage. It doesn't actually
yeah.
double it.
It would be doubled on the fire. So yeah, you burn them all to a crisp very quickly, in fact. Surprisingly so.
I'm really good at hunting rats, guys.
Tresser.
Getting a taste of Magus.
Alrighty. I am going to start with exploit vulnerability on rat.
Mm-hmm. You guys are actually a very well-suited group for swarms.
Yeah, except me. Kind of.
Oh, actually,
No,
you get good
You're
for
good
it.
at them. You're
Yes.
good at this too.
They're weak to area damage, and you can...
They have a
Private.
weakness. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, so your esoteric lore tells you they are weak to area damage.
They're weak to the square footage of this room. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to use my second action to step closer to the swarm, and my third to swing at it. I wished it take an action to change my weapon type because it would have been flavorful to do like bludgeoning, but that's fine.
Mhm. By the way, though,
This
you
is
miss.
sad.
You try to slam your weapon into them.
I'm using a hero point.
Okay.
Why?
A little bit less even. They're swarming around. It's so hard to hit at least many of them, or any at all, really. You maybe graze one of them. It's frustrating. That'll be you, I believe.
No, just my turn.
Alrighty. So, it will be this swarm. As it rushes over you and, yeah, it's gonna go for Rask and Tresser because you guys are on the ground, easy targets. I need Rask and Tresser to make a reflex save, both. Swarming bites. Rask easily dives
Child's
away,
play.
and so does Tresser. However, Tresser, you take a little bit of damage. Actually, you don't, because Van made its abeyance.
Yes, my amulet
Oh my
makes me
gosh.
very lucky, and any rat that would bite me misses.
So,
Well,
Well-
some do.
actually, all of them do, because this is halved because you succeeded, and then you're minusing that by 3 because of resistance equal to your level. The amulet sort of like wards them away. They sort of scream and go up on their hind legs as you poke it down at them. Yeah, no damage for that first round.
This is amazing.
I need a reflex save again, as they continue to swarm around you too. And this time,
Uh-oh.
Tresser, you were all high and mighty for a moment, and you thought they were done, but they come back with renewed vigor against Rask too. Roll the damage.
I'm
I
gonna
ran
use
out
the
of free
other.
actions.
Hero point?
Yeah.
Okay. Still a failure, unfortunately. Tresser, you don't have any more hero points. So, Tresser, you take 4 damage. Rask takes 2.
Oh no.
I
Okay,
need-
ow, ow. That actually really hurts. Ow, ow. Oh, they're biting my ankles.
And as their
My
nasty,
toes.
nasty maws and jaws bite into you guys, I need fortitude saves for each of you as well.
Oh no, fortitude save.
Yeah,
We're rats.
the kineticist is fine.
Anyway,
Tresser, you pulled away from them. You feel fine as well. That'll be their turn. Rask.
unfortunately, I don't get AoE until level 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still take some pot shots and see how it goes. Unfortunately, I can't do a 2-action attack this turn. So I got a channel.
Mm-hmm. Watery stuff from beneath the floorboards. You're right next to the coast. It's easy for it to come in.
Do a weapon infusion for myself as a free action because I'm. Oh, I can't do that. Shoot. No, I can't do that until the next one. I think. I do a regular channel elements for for this one. Okay. I'm still learning the class.
Yeah, it's a different chassis than any other class, so like its own
It's not bad though, by any means. You know what? Yeah, let's go with freezing again. That looks fun.
thing.
So
Okay.
it's melee, simple melee freezing blast.
Blast it
That
down at
does
them.
not too much.
They swirl away from it, feeling the cold coming on. They get away from it. Anything else?
I'm going to turn that now into a little agile blade and strike like a blade with the ice knife.
Okay.
It
Still
misses. I then use my last action to follow Force's advice and I withdraw.
Okay, getting out of the swarm, making sure they are not biting after you. Alright. Starnberck, over to you.
Surprisingly, I started with a rage.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, step up and make an attack.
Alrighty.
Just swinging the cane like a golf club.
Right through the crowd of it. That'll be a hit. As you smash the cane down, you notice it's pretty easy with a bludgeoning weapon. It deals full damage, but they're not dead yet.
Fortunately, that's all 3 of my actions.
Alright. Spores, you've been charging this up for a little bit here.
Yep. Okay, so a question about how this is ruled exactly, because it says that you can choose to, well, actually, it doesn't say you can. Well, basically, the question is, have I basically locked myself into this round using it at its 2-round casting yet? Or,
I will
Can
allow
you
you
stand
to back off on Horizon Thundersphere on the second round if you wish. Because you've already wasted a full round. I'm not also going to penalize you to like waste the spell slot. You can back off a bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Awesome.
What about charging something up, but didn't really pan out for you?
Yep. Kyle got a really nice hit on there, so turned out unnecessary. As far as sadly lets the zap go and takes a peek inside the room himself to see the rest of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a pretty good idea of what's going on from that, and tries to get a bit of frostbite going on the rats.
Alrighty. Yes, Tresser's, or rather, Rask's frost didn't make purchase. Maybe you can. Fortitude save, I'll do it.
Yep.
They have terrible fortitude, +2 on that. The worst save.
Yeah, I figured doing reflex against rats was a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. They're not very strong, and 5 damage is exactly the amount of HP they had left, as you freeze the rest of them, leaving them curling up, dead. That'll be that encounter. Yourselves 80 experience points.
How's the bundle of rats in the top right? Are they like still smoldering?
Smoldering, but Rask or Cal is pretty precise with his spells. You doubt that this steamy, waterlogged place anyway is going to light.
Yeah. Either way, Spores does try to stamp out the heat from it. We're in a wooden house now. Can't you be a bit careful?
Listen, I'm okay to use fire because of my my brother over there. You see, he can just put the fire out if it's needed.
I guess.
Basically.
One little splash at a time.
It's okay, it's fine. I don't mind doing the work.
Sure. We're all friends here. So, what'd you guys find before the rats?
Nothing much.
No, there's nothing in here. Everything's already been pilfered, or stolen, or lost, or fell off the boat.
I think all that commotion's enough that whoever's back here probably knows we're around.
Speaking of that, is there any sound from the rest of the building at all, or is it still just like dead quiet besides us?
Roll me a perception.
He gets kind of closer to the door to check.
You have a look and you listen through the door. You feel as though you do hear the creaking of wooden floorboards every so often.
There might be something in there. Maybe it's more rats. Maybe it's the kobold. Only one way to find out.
Let's go say hi.
Alright.
I'll try the door.
Right, it opens up to a larger room here. As you do,
Steps through.
you find what seems to be the main hall of the trading post, where boats would come along here. But you guys, as you all step in, are immediately assaulted by the putrid stench of fish, fresh and rotten, strewn about the room. Old crates stack in the corners, buoys and old boats sit around the sides, but front and center is a fisher plying their trade, it seems.
Huh? Who's there?
Turns around, you see this very pale white, almost albino skinned or scaled kobold, the gleaming amber eye.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
We don't need to sound so accusatory with that statement.
I was looking for peace.
We're not here to fight you. You know there's 2 things out there banging on the door, right?
I heard, and I could have handled them. No, I know why you're here. You're here to steal my research from me.
Oh, no, we...
You want to steal all the glory. Curing the disease. That's why you're here, right?
Well, yeah, we want to cure the disease.
Oh, you know how to cure it? That's wonderful. It's exactly what we're looking for.
I don't know exactly how, but I'm not gonna let you butt in on my experiments, butt in on my work. It's my glory that I seek.
Wait, stop. It's okay. We don't want to steal any glory. We want to help.
Help. Nobody ever helped Whitefin. Nobody ever did. Now I'm going to show everyone how nice I am. I'm going to help everybody, yes. Yes.
You notice on them... Actually, Starnberck, roll me a medicine check.
Of course. 1 second.
You know, we could just work together to deal with this too.
Starnberck, you notice that their body, their scales, and even their eyes, it looks a little bit cloudy, follows with what Rask was talking about scales falling off. This one seems to be plagued and pretty advanced too in their, plaguing, so to say, their disease.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but this gentleman here appears to have fallen to his subject of research.
You don't think I know that? You don't think I pick scales off my body every hour or so? I'm trying to save myself too. I'm not going to say that I'm all virtuous, but they'll be shown. No, they will. And you are here to take it all away from me. Why couldn't I just be left alone?
No, we're here to help, I promise.
If you want to help, then leave. Leave me alone.
You're a man of science and reason, aren't you? Surely you can tell that we wish to leave you all your glory as you demand. We just wish to help with the distribution of your solution. Spread it to the people, as it were.
Roll deception if that is a deception.
That is a deception.
Are we sure? Are we sure he actually has a cure? Why hasn't he used it on himself?
Well, he said he doesn't have a cure at start, so...
Oh no.
You're lying. You have a snake's tongue, of course you're lying. That's all your kind does, anyway.
You
sort of
cut me.
starts to step back across the room defensively. You see on the other side of the room what seems to be a table full of filleted fish in various different ways. And judging by the fish around the room, Tresser, actually, roll me a esoteric knowledge.
Public or? Yeah.
Public, yes. Since you've been a little bit more quiet, you've had more time to look around, observe your environment, try to figure out what's going on here. But unfortunately, your cursory glance isn't going to give you any details on what exactly kind of operation is going on here.
What? Well, look, I'm not really from Lysak, but having all those kobolds be sick isn't really a good thing. I don't like seeing that. You could probably use some help distributing and spreading the word that you discovered a cure, as well as gathering materials for making more. Surely some hands wouldn't hurt.
This is diplomacy or deception?
Diplomacy.
Okay. And anybody else who wants to can try to aid in their own way, perhaps, if you have a skill that would be appropriate for this. Perhaps nature, since this is a natural problem, dealing with a bunch of fish, it seems.
I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, Spores comes in. And also, even if you do get a cure, it might also help to protract the problem, stopping the fish from hurting people, And he uses that sort of line of logic to offer his own expertise in nature, natural matters.
Alright, that'll be a +1. Mostly check von Tresser is 16. Unfortunately, Kobold here, this Whitefin, seems a little bit more willful, a little bit more steadfast, stubborn than what even your diplomacy could break through.
No. You. Why don't I just kill you all? And then I would be alone again. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
As he steps over to the table there, he grabs for a knife from it.
Come.
Well,
Sorry, go.
well, you shouldn't, because that's not very nice.
I don't care about being nice anymore. Nobody was nice to me. All those damn fools in Durzak. You don't understand. This plague, it's not a plague, it's not a disease, it's a curse. It's being carried by all the fish. All of them. Every last one.
The fish.
But you won't leave here with that information. Come out, my pets. There's better food for you than just the fish.
As you see, these sort of insectoid primordial eurypterids, I believe they're called, sort of rising up out of the water's edge there, sort of underneath the floorboards, the planks here, revealing themselves in the room and sort of collecting themselves around Whitefin here. But I feel like at this point might be a good time to end the session as you face off against, well, your first true notable named foe here, it seems. I don't know his full story, but he seems quite hell-bent on figuring this out himself. No help.
Darn. Well, we tried. We can
He
just
did
knock
try
him
the
out.
diplomacies, but also has a high will save, so that's what you were going against, and did fail against it. That being said, you don't have to kill him, you can knock him out.
Yep, that was my thought.
Were non-lethal attacks only for melees, or was it like anything could be non-lethal?
Anything that is physical can be non-lethal. You have to have a specific meta magic for spells to be non-lethal.
Gotcha. Right. Remember that now.
Or spell shape, as it's called now.
You're telling me that I can't non-lethally light somebody on fire?
You can if it's, if you do some special incantations before you shoot the fire, but yeah.
I wonder if my weapon infusion for my kineticist abilities will let me do that. Since I can kind of make it take on the properties of a weapon, so to speak.
I would say, yeah, you can have a property that's non-lethal on the weapon. Sure.
I mean, like, no, there's like specific properties, like, but I mean, it kind of acts weapon-like in a sense.
Oh yeah. If you form a weapon infusion, regardless of the traits, you can still always take the -2.
Yeah, I would still take the -2.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually finally got into the swing of things. I feel like this is starting off as a really interesting investigation for you guys. And
I was kind of wait to watch and see what went down with everyone else.
yeah, you guys can at this point. I don't think there's any actually. There might be some things that your characters haven't mentioned, which would be meta sort of knowledge for you guys to watch it back. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I can't control what you do at your computer, so it's fine. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, literally all the maps today that you saw, including all the introductory scenes for the player characters, Lionsack Town, this place, which I do must say I really liked my rendition of this place here, are all my maps. I will be putting up every map that I make for this campaign, which I'm going to be making a lot because I'm going to be putting them up on the Patreon. So yeah. And yes, CB, these will definitely be on the YouTube. I'll be putting up this probably Monday, like I usually do. Like I usually try to do. But yeah, I'm back in action. I'm ready to do it. And finally I get to do homebrew without running 5 other games at once. So all my effort can go into this, and yeah, every weekend, every Saturday, we'll be here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Announcements, yes. Rask, Chris, you stream.
I sure do. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris, the player of Rask, and I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time at Chris_Kobold. And I'm doing a lot of puzzle stuff lately. Right now, it's the Talos Principle. Come stop by sometime.
Blown by fans last time I saw.
Oh my god. I so did.
But yeah, Spores, I have to mention, even though you're not going to mention it yourself, you make art. You made all the beautiful art that we have today, or at least all the character arts. Would you like to announce your presence, or?
Well, yeah, I'm still here. And, yeah, I did in fact draw all these portraits, as I think it has 3 times so far. And you can find my art on Twitter at EX9.
Gotta get people going to your stuff too. Yeah. Anybody else have any announcements, or are we good to go?
Nothing from me.
Alrighty. So, thank you all for watching. So happy with how this turned out. It was a little bit of rush to start, but finally in it. I'm finally back. Finally feeling good. I can actually make maps again, which is so nice. I was stuck for basically 2 months after I stopped doing everything, because I stopped taking ADHD medication, which fucks with your heart. I don't want to do that anymore. It sucks.
Oops.
Yeah. Just increases your heart rate, which triggered panic attacks for me. Like, literally, like, physical panic attacks, where it just comes on because your heart's thinking it's in danger mode.
I've
Because of
had
the
that
increased heart rate.
before.
Yeah.
I went to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, I did too. Twice in my life right now.
Oh boy.
But yeah. No, everything's better now. So, we'll see you guys next week. See y'all.
Bye-bye.
I
Ta-ta.
Bye.